Hello, beautiful. How are you today? Welcome to another Thursday Talk and Organizing Mindset podcast with me, Susanna Kay. And today we are talking about building an emergency medical folder. So if you either don't have any type of emergency medical folder set up for your family, then this is going to be perfect for you. If you already have an emergency medical folder set up, then this is a great time to double check, see if there's anything you may have missed, get some new ideas, and just touch it up. So that way you can make sure that it is all up to date, accurate, and not missing anything important. So I'm glad that you're here today with me. As you hop on, let me know who you are and where you're joining me from. I see you got Lori is here. Welcome, Lori from Ohio, and Nancy from Colorado. Sue is here from Texas, and Kathy is here from Indiana, and Melody's here from Virginia. Welcome, welcome, ladies. And yeah, anyone else, as you hop on, let me know who you are, where you're joining me from. And if you have any questions at all, then please make sure to ask, because that's what I'm here for, right? All right, so today we are leading up to the 3-day challenge that starts on Monday. Monday is July 29th, and it's only going to be a 3-day challenge where together we will build our emergency medical folders. So if you have not already joined the challenge, now's a great time to join. It's, like I said, free. Go to susannakay.live, live/join-the-challenge. That link is also in the description. But when you join the challenge, if you don't already have them, then you will be able to grab the emergency medical folder templates. It's a PDF download where you can type into it. You could handwrite it, whatever works for you. But this way you've got all of the templates and you're just filling in the blanks for the information that you need in order to create yourself a quick grab emergency medical folder. So this link, like I mentioned, is also in the description throughout the video. It will be in the YouTube description as well. And also on the YouTube description, any products that I talk about, those will be shown in my Amazon store. Now, just a reminder, I do earn commissions on any qualified purchases that you make through my store. It will not affect the price that you pay, but I wanted to make sure that I'm always transparent with you. But if you'd like to check out the Amazon store and follow along with some of these products that we'll talk about, whether you're building an emergency medical folder or not, there are probably a number of them that you've not actually seen me show before, because I found some really great stuff that has definitely changed how I do things in a very positive way since the last time that we did the emergency medical folder challenge. So check it out at amazon.com/shop/Susanna Kay. That's SUZANNAKAYE. And you can follow along on our emergency medical folder papers list. All right. So let's dive in today. I wanted to say, oh, goodness gracious, Crystal is here. I have been wondering how you've been doing. I haven't heard from you in a while, beautiful. So glad to see you and see that you're here with us. Yay. Oh, hi, Kazia. Hi from Portland. We got Joanna's here and Jody. She says she was waiting on YouTube and it hasn't started yet. It's really odd. Double check that the YouTube link is correct. Actually, if I can double check to see, I wonder if maybe it is just the link that was sent out. If you can let me know what link you are trying to click on to get in, then that could help me. So that way, if anybody else is having trouble finding it, then I can fix it for them as well. Let me see if I can hop in and double check the one that's for today. All right, so I made sure that today's is supposedly up to date, but let me know where you are clicking from. So that way I can just double check and make sure that that link is correct. But yeah, sorry, I was just still double checking. I can't talk, and I don't know if you can. I can't talk and do things that have to do with words at the same time. I'll start saying the things that are on the screen or get lost, but I always keep trying. I don't know why I try instead of just being quiet. But thank you for letting me know, Jody. I am so glad that you were able to find me. Lori says, okay, on Monday, she says, the live emergency medical folder challenge starts at the same time as the Path member group. Will you be live at 1 p.m. during both the emergency medical folder and the group hike? No, I will not. And that must be a typo within the live challenge. So the emergency medical folder, I will be doing the lives later on. Now that we've added our member work sessions on Mondays, then we did make that change, but I probably missed it in a couple places. So I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know, and I will definitely make sure to change that. So we're still on for our group hike and everything. Okay, the YouTube link was on an email. That would be why. Okay, so I'll double check to make sure that that one's working. Hi, Jana. And okay, good. Yay, she says now YouTube works. So good, my fix must have been the one that was sent out in the email, and I really appreciate that, Jody. There's just so much that happens. It's just impossible for me to find all the things sometimes. So I really appreciate people like you that let me know. All right. Well, are you ready for this? Are you ready to dive in and build that emergency medical folder, or learn how you can take yours to the next level and just make it nice and perfect and beautiful and working amazing? Well, that is what we are doing today. So each of these things that I mentioned, like I said, will be in my Amazon store, but I want to not only just show you the supplies that you can use, but I want to show you how to put it together and really what it is, right? So those of you who have the Spark Life Binder or who have participated in this challenge in the past, you already know what the emergency medical folder is. For those who may be new to us or to the emergency medical folder, this is an example of an emergency medical folder. So this is basically, this is a basic one. It's got just a red plastic folder, and then inside it has those templates that I told you about that are free. Let me shut the door, dogs. Dogs make it hard when you work from home. Still working on that with new microphones. All right, so these are the templates that you will get for free when you join the challenge. So make sure to grab those, but they include such things as medical alert page, which will go right up front. This would have any life-threatening allergies, any urgent life-threatening conditions or special needs, emergency contact information. This is all of the stuff that if a first responder came and you could not speak, or if you were handed off to the doctor, this is what they would have to know first, the most important stuff. So this I always put in the very front. And then within the medical folder, you will have dividers, whether you choose to use pockets or actual dividers. We'll talk about that. But then you have the basic medical information. So more of the emergency instructions, which would have health insurance, contact info, allergies and conditions, vaccine information, which vaccines you've had, current medications and prescriptions. That would include supplements, things like that. And each person in your household can have their own tab. Now, this is perfect if you have basic medical needs. Each person would just have that same, you would just print a second copy of or a third copy of that core binder, and one per person. And then in the very back, you would have information for pets and information about emergency locations and items within the home. So that way, if something were to happen with the pet or with you and the pet needed to be taken care of, or if something happened at the home, they would know where the emergency water shutoff is, alarm companies, contact information, various things like that. So that is what the templates are for the free basic emergency medical folder. Now, when you download that, you will see that there's another pop-up or screen that will come up. If you have oops, that's attached. If you have a more complex medical issue or conditions or just more complex medical needs, I know I do, and that's why this was created. I created the complex and chronic emergency medical folder. It's an add-on. So when you see the pop-up, currently it is half off what it normally is in the store. So if you grab it from that pop-up, then you will see in the store it's normally twice as much. But that complex and chronic, I'm looking at the wrong one. The complex and chronic is the one that will help you track a lot more detail that you might need in order to help figure out things that are going on with the doctor, report symptoms and changes, things like that. So within the complex and chronic, you won't need this if you don't have any type of special medical circumstance. You can still grab it if you're interested in it, even if you don't have a complex or chronic medical need. If you want to have these things available, that's absolutely fine, but you don't need them unless you are going to the doctor a lot more often and tracking more complicated things. So this would include things such as a medication schedule. So when do you take different medications? Or, if you're a caretaker, when do they take different medications? Your medication and supplements history appointment list. If you're like me, then while I was going through all of that, I had so many different appointments that I was trying to keep track of with different doctors. So having a list of these are the appointments that you have coming up. These are what need to be booked, that type of thing. Medical and important events log. So anything of significance you can write down as a log. And all these are different fillable, so you can type into them if you want to as well. Charts as well as information pages. It also has imaging and test notes and family medical history information. The different charts that you have are the monitoring of symptoms and changes log, your medication schedule, your medical bill and insurance tracking log. If you're going through a lot of medical stuff, then just figuring out what medical bill goes with what service and if it was paid and all of that is a nightmare. So you have a whole section for that, and dated notes. So that's what the complex and chronic expansion is. It is specifically for if you do have more complex needs for either tracking or going to doctors and tracking symptoms, appointments, insurance, all that stuff. So just wanted to make sure that you know what that is if it pops up. And if you don't need it, then feel free to just click through it. If you do need it, fantastic. It is there for you at half off right now. And like I said, I created that when I was going through all of this stuff, and it made such a huge difference. So hopefully it helps you out. All right. So in the chat, like I mentioned, if you have any questions or even just comments, if you have your emergency medical folder already and you have a story of how it helped you or what the nurses and doctors say about it, anything like that, I would love to hear it over in the chat. Feel free, chat with me, chat with each other. I know Lori and Nancy were chatting with each other. I love to see that. So questions really quickly. Lori says, so what time on Monday is the live emergency medical folder? It is at, I don't have my calendar in front of me. I have to think really quickly. Okay. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So 8 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, the 29th is the live session for the emergency medical folder. Hopefully that helps. OPEG says, are there any updates to my emergency medical folder? I love to take it with me to the doctor's appointments. If you have the emergency medical folder with the version number in the very bottom left of the page, you'll see there's super tiny. Grab your phone, take a picture of it, and make it bigger so you can read it. EMF v7.1. 7.1 is the current version. So as long as it says EMF 7.1, then you are all good. If it doesn't, then just hop into your online library and it's already updated for you, especially as a PATH member. It's already updated for you with the newest one right there. Oh, yay. Karen says, looking forward to the challenge. Yay. She says, hi, everyone. Jeremiah says, only a city slicker would think of that. Okay. Thank you, Jeremiah. CJ says, good morning from Northern California. The EMF is a great way to have current medical information on hand and keep up with all the changes. Yay. Yes, I am so glad that that works for you, CJ. It really is. Life moves so fast with medical stuff, especially between myself and my husband. Thankfully, our daughter is not one that needs a whole lot either. Whew, because just the two of us, it's enough to keep track of. All right, so let's look at some of the supplies. Oh, you're welcome, Lori. Let's look at some of the supplies that you can use to build the emergency medical folder, and let's talk about how you would put it together. So first off, with the emergency medical folder, you can choose whatever type of folder or storage you would like. I tend to recommend, if you have a basic need and you're just using that regular emergency medical folder template, then grab just a red 3-prong plastic folder. Now I say plastic because these are going to last you the rest of your life, hopefully. So you want something that can take a beating. You want something that if it gets wet, it won't be a problem. The last thing you want is one of those paper ones that are going to tear on you. So you can check out in the Amazon store. Like I said, I have all of these products that I'm talking about listed. So this one is in the store. And you just want that 3-prong so it can hold your 3-hole punched pages and your dividers. But this makes it super, super easy. I love to do red because that is easy for a first responder to be able to find very quickly. So one of the benefits of an emergency medical folder, and during the challenge, we will talk about how to notify first responders of where to find this. But one of the benefits is that first responders, if you're not able to communicate or one of your family members is there alone and not able to communicate, first responders can find this and have all the information they need right like at their fingertips, because the most important information is on the first page. Everything else is right inside. So this communicates when you can't. This is also what you would grab and take with you if you have to go to the hospital or just to doctor's appointments. I take mine to doctor's appointments every time because then I have all my basic information at my fingertips. I can take my notes, have it all in one place. It makes it so much easier. And the nurses just think it's the most amazing thing. So you look like an organizing rock star when you show up with one of these. But this needs to be quick to grab. So this is not something you're keeping in an office drawer or in a back room. This is something that you're keeping out, usually on a counter or somewhere near the entrance and exit. So it's quick and easy to grab. And like I said, during the emergency medical folder challenge, we will talk about where to keep it. We will talk about how to make sure that first responders and family members and everybody know where it is, where to find it, all that good stuff. But basic one, I just like the red plastic 3-prong folder. You can do one for your whole family if you don't have a whole lot to put in there. I used to have one for my whole family until my husband Moose Pie and I got old. And now we have one actually for Moose Pie and my daughter. Moose Pie is what I call my husband, by the way. And I have a separate one because I had a lot going on last year. So that is the option for the basic one. Now, if you do have additional needs, then you might need more space. So for myself, I actually have two. I have 2 folders. I have the one that sits in our kitchen next to Moose Pie and my daughters because it has a whole lot more information. I'm not going to actually show you any of the information, but it's all in here. This one's mine. And it sits right next to theirs. So it makes it nice and easy to see when these are side by side in the kitchen. The other one that I have is this because for 2 years, I had a lot of test results that I had to carry with me. I was seeing a number of different doctors, even though everything is combined online through things like MyChart. They never seem to be able to find it all or trust it all. So having it with me, I found was just so much easier than them trying to figure out something that they're not seeing in the online. And if I didn't need it, that's fine. At least I had it. Peg says, my EMF is a 1-inch neon orange binder that I picked up at Target. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Bright is really good. And Target's a great place to pick it up. Absolutely. I love that. I bet it stands out really nicely. And Melody, I will tell you, I will give you an update in just a couple minutes. Thank you for asking. All right, so this right here is my go to the doctor, go to the hospital type of emergency medical folder. This is where the complex and chronic information stays when I'm not using it. This is by Kaitiaki. Sorry, I said that wrong. Kaitiaki, and check this out. It is a 3-ring binder inside of a bag. So what I love about this, and let me actually see if I can adjust my screen for you so you can see. I don't have all my different cameras right now. But like I said, this is from Kaitiaki. Now, I'm not going to show you all the pages simply because, like I said, this is my active, actually working emergency medical folder. So I'm going to cover up some of the actual pages. And of course, it's a lot messier just because this is something that I have been using the whole time. And it's just made it so nice to be able to have all the information that I needed within the 3-ring binder. It has a little pocket. So when I'm open to a page, I can actually tuck the other pages in. So I can quickly open back up to that page without a problem. And I've got it does not come with the dividers or the pockets in it, but I added the pockets. These are the EOOUT, EOOUT. That's a really good brand. EOOUT 3-ring binder pockets. And then I have my dividers, and I like to put a picture of the person that section goes to. So if the first responders come, they know who they're looking at. So this is me and Moose Pie. I can show you. That's what Moose Pie looks like. He's a sweetheart. So that goes right up front because that would be part of my medical folder. And then I have all of my different sections from the complex and chronic download. So my symptom tracker, my medication history and schedule, important events that happen, medical events, test results. And I like that these pages actually have a spot for blank. I can put blanks right in there. So if I need to add more, then I can. But the test results, this is where I could put, like when we were doing all the different blood work and scans and x-rays, and my goodness, we did, everything was poked, prodded, scanned. I could have all of the recent and any important previous results right here with me, as well as the imaging CDs or DVDs. So that's really nice. I put a pocket for that. Then I had my notes. So I would take notes on what the different doctors said. So that way, when I'm asked, I remember. Legal information. Right now, I don't have all of the legal information in here, but I do have like my blood donor and organ donor information in here. I have my healthcare surrogate form. I think the only thing that I don't have right now is one of the additional end of life forms. And then right now, this one does not have anything in it, but I have a couple pages for business cards. So whenever I go to a new doctor, I can grab a couple of business cards and just slide it in. So I've got all their contact information right there. And then in the back, I have supplies. And then with this Kaitiaki binder, which this is one of the things I love, it's got an extra pocket for supplies. So I've got a pen and I've got some Post-it notes. And then it's got this nice big divided pocket in the back. And in the back here, oh, well, there's one of my doctor's cards. I did not even realize. Like I said, it's kind of a mess. But in the back, this is where I can slide in my general emergency medical folder. So I don't have to duplicate everything that sits on the counter. When I'm leaving, I just grab this, slide it right in these huge pockets, in your soft pockets. It even has a little strap. And then it's right there. So I can easily tell them what current medications I'm on. I actually have a printout of that medication page from the template. I just hand it to them. And it even has a thing for if you're in the airport or with luggage, you can put this over the handle of your suitcase. And it's got this huge front pocket. So I did not even have to bring my purse with me. I just throw my wallet, my keys right in there, my sunglasses. I have hand sanitizer hung from the front. But this huge front pocket, when I had a smaller purse, I just throw the whole smaller purse in there. So this is what I use as a actual holder for my full emergency medical folder. And this is the one, like I said, if I go to the doctor, if I go to the hospital, this is what I grab. And while I'm at home, then I just take this out, and this sits on the counter for my personal emergency medical folder. So if you do have a lot going on, or if you're a caregiver for somebody who has a lot going on, then this is really helpful for either the emergency medical folder with the complex and chronic add-on, or if you have the caretaker binder, this is really useful for the caretaker binder or caregiver binder, because like you could just grab it and go. And it's got a nice strap and everything. It's, like I said, this was kind of life-changing when I started to use this one. So if you're looking for that, definitely check out the Amazon shop. On YouTube, in the description, I also have some of the links for the specific items that I talk about. So this one was the Kaitiaki Binder Bag in pink. It's got other colors, though, if you aren't a pink person. So that's another option. So you could do something like that. You could do the very basic, which this is absolutely fine if you don't have complex needs. Very basic red plastic folder. If you want something that looks nicer on your countertop, if your kitchen's super pretty and you don't want anything that doesn't match or that doesn't look elegant, then check out these. These are linen binders. They have different colors as well. But this linen binder that I have listed in the description is absolutely beautiful. And you could use this. I would use this actually. I have it set up as the complex and chronic, since that's something that you would use on more of a daily basis. And you can have this for your complex and chronic, and then you could still have something like this just tucked right inside for the emergency medical one. But you could do either way, whatever works for you. But I love with this one, it actually comes with the dividers, which is nice. And it has a little clipboard on front. So while you're at the doctor's office, or if there's a specific tracking log that you're using all the time, it's really easy to just place it right there on the front and have access to it while you're using it. It has a nice pen loop. And then, like I said, it comes with these dividers. The dividers have pockets, which is nice. So you can slide in, like I mentioned, those blank sheets, which works really nicely with the different logs and such that you might use. And it comes with a zipper pocket. And I just added another zipper pocket and business card holders to the end. But yeah, and then it has pockets on either side as well. So one in the front, one in the back. But yeah, there we go. And sorry, forgot to mention another nice thing if you're traveling back and forth with it, it has one of the straps. So this one's the linen binder that you can see in there. Or you could get the Forevermore Leather Binder. So it's completely up to you, whatever your preference is. Just pick one that not only looks nice, but will function the way that you need it. So this Forevermore binder, it's got the 3-ring. It's a faux leather, and it holds up really well. Like, it does not scratch terribly bad. It will scratch if you are super rough with it, but like it actually, I have another one, and it actually looks kind of nice. Some of the scuffs because it does look like real leather then. But that's only because I threw it around in my car a whole lot and had things sitting on top of it. So it really does not scratch too bad. See, that's nice. It has a notepad. It has extra pockets. You can slide things into, hold different cards. It's got a zipper pocket, and then it's got a large pocket on the side. So this is another one where you could slide in that emergency medical folder documentation and use it as a caregiver binder or whatever you need it to. And then it's nice, it's got this pocket on the front, which that's really handy because at the doctor's office, you know that they always give you like that after summary or your lab orders or things like that. This is really handy to put things in temporarily until you have time to actually get around to organizing them. And then That's it. Zip it up. It's got a really smooth zipper. It does not get stuck, which is nice. So that's the Forevermore binder. So no matter what your style is, just make sure that you have those templates printed out. Make sure that they are accessible for you and for first responders, at least the emergency ones. And just make sure that it does what you need it to do. So looks are great and all, but like the Kaitiaki, normally I like things that are a lot more nice and sleek. I think that this is the most wonderful thing. So even though this is not as nice and sleek as I normally go for, it is like water resistant. I've had to go through the rain in this and it's been perfectly fine. Kept everything dry. It wipes off if you get dirt on it. It's just it looks nice and it fills my need so perfectly. Let's see. Oh, Suzanne, right? She says that binder bag is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I hadn't either. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Kaitiaki. Actually, it's funny. They sent me that bag to try out like a year ago. And when companies send me something for free to try, I always warn them ahead of time. If I don't like it or I don't think it's a good fit, I'm not going to recommend it. I won't do a bad review online, but I'm not going to tell people to get it because, that's my reputation is on the line. So I'm like, if you're worried about that, don't send it. But they sent that a year ago or so. And they wanted me to recommend it for the Rocket Book, which I thought it was okay for the Rocket Book for the loose leaf pages, but I didn't feel like it was quite the right fit for the Rocket Book pages like I wanted it to be. So I just said, I'm sorry, this just isn't really a good fit for what I recommend. Then I started seeing all the doctors and all that. And I remembered, I'm like, oh, I still have that thing. And I tried it for that. It was the most excellent thing. So I didn't have a need to go in and out of the house with a lot of documentation back when they first sent it to me. But now that I went through the emergency, not emergency, with all the health stuff, now I actually had a reason. So suddenly I'm like, now I can recommend it because there is a use that I think it is absolutely essential for. So yeah, check that out on the Amazon store. They've got different colors and it's really good. And CJ, yeah, the linen is beautiful, right? Because I'm completely addicted to clipboards. It's perfect, right? And some rose gold sort of clipboard on this gray. I loved the gray. They have different colors like green and black and like off-white or beige and just different colors. It's awesome. Hi, Mary. Glad to see you. She says, Jana says, are all of these products in your Amazon store? They are. Yes. The only one that's not, I think, is just the red plastic 3-ring, not the prong, but the 3-ring. I think this is the only thing that's not in the store right now. Sheila says the binder bag comes in 2-inch or 3-inch rings. Which one do you have? That's a good question. Let me double check before I answer that. I have the 3-inch. This one's the 3-inch. You could probably get away with the 2-inch if you don't have a lot of lab and imaging paperwork to carry with you, because that's the bulk of what my documents are. Most of this whole section right here is all imaging. Imaging and blood tests, like all the blood work. So if you don't have a lot of that to carry with you, you can probably get away with the 2-inch just fine. But if you do have a ton of paperwork that you want to carry with you, then go for the 3-inch, I would say. Good question. Oh, and Nancy says, what are your feelings about the Kaitiaki binder bag for the Spark Life Binder? I absolutely love it, the Spark Life Binder as well. This one is something that with the Spark Life Binder, I will also be recommending because it is a good quick grab and go. So between this one and either the linen or the Forevermore leather, depending on if you want something that like looks a little bit fancier and nice that you grab and go, or if you just want utilitarian grab and run, then yeah, I think it's great for the Spark Life Binder as well. Oh, Peg says, it's great to have business cards. When visiting radiology, I can hand a card to the tech and ask for a copy of the results sent to a different doctor in addition to the one who ordered the test. Absolutely. I do that too. It makes it so much easier. There was a while where I was actually using, this is also in the store, I was using a separate business card holder because I had so many doctors and different surgery centers and imaging centers. So I actually had this. This is by MyLifeUnit. It holds 600 cards. But yeah, it's a binder so you can take pages in and out. And I actually used this one for a while with all the different doctors that I had. So it's really handy as well. Yes, Janice says, at my retirement home community, they ask us to have information near the refrigerator as a standard in that community. Yes, and I agree. During the challenge, the emergency medical folder challenge, we will be talking about where to place your emergency medical folder. And I'd say 99% of the time, I say it is best to put it in the kitchen. And we will talk about how to make sure that first responders can find it easily and all that good stuff. But I agree. Your community is very smart. Let's see. All right. So that is as far as holding your emergency medical folder. That's the longest part of this because it is very much personal choice. You do want something where it's going to be easy for them to find. But if your kitchen is nice and uncluttered and you have a nice space for it, then something like the linen or the Forevermore Faux Leather Binders, these are absolutely great if you just want something that's going to look nice on your countertop. If you aren't sure that they'll see it, or if you just want something basic, red folders are great. And if you need something to grab and go, then the Forevermore binder or the Kaitiaki binder bag. Those are both really good grab and goes, depending on how much you have and what type of grab and go you do. So next, let's talk about what's inside the binder, right? So let's use our linen binder just as an example. So I made sure that this is all set up for us this morning. So within the binder, when I use the linen, I usually combine it with one of the red binders in order to have the complex and chronic in the binder that lays flat a little bit better. So that way you can do any logs that you have, insurance stuff. It's just a lot easier if it's in a 3-ring binder instead of a 3-prong folder if you're doing logs and tracking for insurance payments and all that stuff. So as far as inside the emergency medical folder, the very basic, that free, remember if you're just joining in. Oh, Marcia says, how do you spell Kaitiaki? You were very close, actually. Let me see if I can add it to the screen. And if you need it also, just so you know, everything is in the description on YouTube. It's not in the Facebook one. Facebook is a little bit more difficult, but it's on the description on YouTube. But I just posted the link to it, which will go to my Amazon store, as well as the name. I just posted that in the chat area. So hopefully that helps, but it's Kaitiaki. Kaitiaki. All right. So, and I posted it in the comments just now. So if you are on Facebook, then if you're on the Facebook page, it will show you. So within the actual folder portion, this would be the part that first responders would grab or you take to the hospital, and you may take it to the doctor if you've got basic medical needs. The first page is going to be that medical alert. So it has contact information for a person who can provide date of birth, identification, and sensitive information, because we do not want to put copies of our ID, credit card, anything too personal when it comes to identity theft. We don't want to put too many personal numbers or photocopies of IDs and things in here, because this is something that would be taken with you to a hospital and float around to the doctors, and you don't have control over it the whole time. So having a contact person who can give them that information And of course, talk to that contact person first, but that's going to help tremendously. And then it talks about any life-threatening allergies, conditions, or special needs. And this is just the cover page. You can put it if you have a folder where you can slide in the front, it goes there. But each one, the complex and chronic, as well as the emergency medical folder, they both have a checklist. So it tells you how to organize it. It tells you the different types of information that you would want to make sure is included. So if you miss any part of what we talk about today, that's okay. When you download it, the checklist will help, and also that challenge. The challenge will go to your email inbox, so you don't have to worry about being up at a specific time or losing the information. And then I have dividers with pockets. Now, on my Amazon store, right now, I don't have these dividers listed. I still need to add those in. What I have are, and I absolutely love this type, but they were out for a very long time. I have ones like this, where it's a pocket that's see-through. So you can put your information and the divider label on it. Those are by C-Line. So you'll see those in the Amazon store. But you'll have dividers for each section or each person, depending on how you want to set it up. But it has the emergency instructions, so health insurance information, name and address, letter of instruction, healthcare surrogate, basic information on where to find them, blood type, organ donor, emergency contacts, if you have a pacemaker or internal defibrillator, things like that. So all those basic information things. It has allergies and conditions. These would be like the non-life-threatening ones that are more of an FYI. And then it has a notes page in the back. And I think that's it, yeah. So that would be in that first section. And then your next section, I like to put appointments as the first page in that next section. So that way, any upcoming appointments that need to be scheduled or that are scheduled, you can have listed. And then as you have the appointment, you can mark off that, yes, it was done. And then when they ask you when was the last time then you can tell them. So a couple of appointment pages that are, there's a space for date, and there's medical and important events. So that would be if you had knee surgery or a biopsy or something happened medically that you just want to make sure that you have notes about and a date. And if there are any of these that you need extra pages for, you just take that PDF file and you can print out as many pages as you need. That file is also fillable, which means that you can type your information. Once you save it to your computer, you open up the one on your computer and you can type your information into it and print it out if you wanted a nice printed copy as well. And then you can save it to your computer so you don't have to retype it each time. So that's also a nice bonus. Then you have current medication, subscription, supplement, and vaccine information. So when was the last time you got the flu vaccine, all those good things. And then towards the back, if you have pets, then there is a pet emergency information section. You'll print one for each pet. And it has information such as their name, breed, various colors and markings, microchip numbers and registrations, common hiding places in case there's a fire or you're not around and they're trying to find them, emergency information, and I believe there's a pet guardian contact name for if something happens and pets need to be taken care of. Who would they contact? So these pages can hold up to 4 different pets, but if you need more, then just print out more. And then finally in the back is home information. So if something were to happen, then they would have non-emergency numbers for police, sheriff, fire, EMS, nearest emergency shelters, alarm company information, home emergency information, like circuit breakers, where are those, where are the fire extinguishers, fuse box, water valve, landlord information if you rent, and just other contacts that you might need are right here. So there's a couple pages there. I won't read through everything, but it's just contact information for things, all that good stuff. And then I like to put a business card page in there. So that way you can have a copy of, and I think I had them. There they are. So I like to put copies of, like Peg was talking about, grabbing extra cards from your doctors. So that way you have copies of cards from each doctor. So if you have imaging or blood work that you want a copy to go to another doctor, like your primary care physician, just pull out a card and hand it to them. And sometimes they will just take the card. Sometimes they will have you fill out the form, but it's easy because the contact's in there. Copy of your health insurance card is helpful. But I like to do business cards for the imaging places that I've been, my doctors and specialists, my healthcare information, and any other relevant information, such as maybe you have an estate planning attorney that would have more end-of-life documents. Maybe you have a safe deposit box at a bank, and that's where the letter of instruction or things like that would be. Whatever people would need to know in an emergency. Remember, this is not your Spark Life Binder. The Spark Life Binder holds all of your life information that's emergency and just really important, but not emergency. This is just for emergencies, especially for if you're going to the hospital or something like that. And then I have the EOOUT pocket in the back. And here are some of the things that I like to put within that pocket. So, and I've added, I think I've added a couple things since the last time that we talked. So if you have pet vaccination certificates, I like to put those behind the pet section and just put a copy of it or put the original certificate right there. So that way, if you did need to evacuate or something happened and you need to board the pet, then that information is right there. Within the pocket, I do like to also include anything that comes with their microchip or any type of tracking. So if you have like the lost pet services, microchip IDs, I put those right inside the pocket, not the ones that go on the pet, of course, just the backup information. I like to keep a little cash inside the pocket, nothing that would be so much that if it was stolen that I would be like horribly upset, but enough that if I didn't have gas and my card wasn't working, I could at least get enough gas to get somewhere decent. Post-it notes, and I like to have 2 pens. The reason why I have 2 is I have one that is a regular gel pen. This one, and I love this type, it is the Energel by Pentel. The Energel pen, it's just a gel pen and writes really well. So I have a regular pen that does not erase, and then I have my, of course, you've heard this one, my Pilot Frixion pens. These are the erasable pens. And the reason I have these is because sometimes things like medications or appointments, I like to be able to write things and erase it if I need to. So some of the things I want to make sure can be erased, but if it's permanent information, then I use the regular pen just in case it's ever left out in the heat and I don't want anything to fade. I usually do a pen refill for my main pen. If you have any type of special keys that would be important, whether it's a duplicate key to the house or a duplicate key for the car, maybe it's for storage unit, safe deposit box, whatever it is that you might need, you could throw your extra keys in there. I like to keep a charging cord and the charging cube for my phones right in there. And I throw in some little paper reinforcements, the 3-hole punch reinforcements. The ones that I have in the store are white. I just ran out of the white. So I have these old color ones. I prefer the white ones though. But throwing those in, if there are any pages that start to get really ratty, then you can always just reinforce them really quickly or before they get ratty. And then finally, my most important thing is I like to have a USB drive or flash drive, people might call it, or sometimes you might have heard thumb drive. But on here, this is where I store all of the forms and everything from my emergency medical folder and my complex and chronic. I don't put my Spark Life Binder on this one because, like I said, I don't want to have my personal information and important ID numbers and account numbers with this. But this would just be all of the backups of my complex and chronic, my emergency medical folder, and any of the lab work or just backup information that my doctor might want in a digital form or that I don't want to carry around. So I have this. I like to use the ones with the ring or some type of holder that's not too long because it does not work on the 3-prong. That's why it's in the folder there. But if you have a 3-ring binder, it's so easy to just clip it on. And the nice thing is you never have to try to remember where you saved the backup of your binder. You can, of course, back it up along with your other backed up files, but your main working one can be right there where you use it. You don't have to go searching for it. So I like to have those things inside of the pocket of my binder. So if I do have to run, like whether it's evacuate or go to the hospital, anything like that, then I can just grab this and take it with me. So questions real quickly. Let's see. All right. CJ says, oh, great. She says, by the way, I'm loving your Amazon store. I ordered the mesh zip pouches and the security roller stamp for my emergency medical folder supplies. Yay. She says, and let's not forget my new robot vac for the house. I love my robot vacuums. I can't wait to hear how you feel about those. Roborock is so good too. So yay. I can't wait. That's awesome. Marcia says, my forms are for version 5.1 of the EMF. Where do I find the new forms again? And is there a change for the new or a charge for the new pages? There is no charge for the new pages. Just like the Spark Life Binder, if you grab the digital version of that, same type of thing where you always have the most up-to-date core part of your binder. You probably have an online login to the library. So you would go to SusannaK.com, click on login on the top right, and then go to your library. And then it should be within your online library. If you have any trouble at all finding it or downloading it or anything like that, or if you can't remember your login, any of that good stuff, then just email me, hello@SusannaK.com, and either myself or Stephanie, she's sometimes really fast and gets it before me, we can help you out and make sure that you get the most current version. So sound good? And whenever we do updates, if there's anything major, I like to list what the changes are so you can see if you even want to update or not. Sometimes you just might not be interested if it's just, formatting or something like that. But I think that there's a significant difference between 5.1 and 7.1, if I remember correctly. So you'll probably want the update. Diane says, twice a year, I pull all my credit cards and others into a business card holder and photocopy the front and back so I have emergency contact information if I lose my wallet. Yes, I do that too. I put that in my Spark Life Binder in the finance section. And it is so much easier if you use those business card holders, right? Because then you can just put it on the copier and then flip it over and copy the other side and they stay in the right spots. They're not exactly the same spots. Wait, no, they are. Yeah. I remember one time I put it the wrong way, but it makes a huge difference. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I'd forgotten about that one for now. And Peggy Jean says, thank you for all this information. Oh, you're so welcome. Absolutely. Well, sorry, my dog desperately wants in, but we're wrapping up. All right. So we are wrapping up. And if you are a Pathfinder, then we are doing our Pathfinder meeting in about 4 minutes. So I will see you over there. Either way, if you've not already, make sure to register for the free emergency medical folder challenge, because like I mentioned, you get that free template just by registering. You don't have to buy anything. It's free. And you will always be able to get the core emergency medical folder whenever there's updates. You will always be able to get the updates in the future as well, which is nice. If you do need the more complex version, the complex and chronic, then you will get the chance to get it half off during that download. And you will be registered for the 3-day challenge. And during the 3-day challenge, you will hear some of this stuff again on how to set it up. My goodness, my dog is going to be the death of me. Go on. We're not going anywhere, bud. Sorry, it's the big dachshund. He's not normally annoying like this. So during the emergency medical folder challenge, during those 3 days, we will be setting up your emergency medical folder and making sure to fix it up so it has everything that you need. And we'll talk about different things that you can put in the pockets. We will talk about different ways to use it. And I will share some of the tips about where to store it, how to make sure that first responders can find it if they need it, how to get your important identity protected information to the people who need it without including it in your binder. What's the difference between the emergency medical folder and the Spark Life binder? What you would put in one versus the other, so you know the difference, and you can be safe, because identity theft and safety with all of your information is very important. So we will talk about all of that during the emergency medical folder challenge. It's an easy challenge. It is designed for people who have a life. So you don't have to worry about spending hours doing the challenge. All the information is delivered to your inbox or live, and then the live video replays are sent to your email. So you will have access to those during the challenge and for an amount of time afterwards. So you don't have to worry about, blocking off half your schedule just for the challenge. It's made to be super tiny bite-sized steps, so you can get this all set up, filled out, and working before the end of those 3 days. So I look forward to seeing you there. Register for the challenge. Check out the Amazon store if there's anything that you wanted to see more about. If you liked anything, there's other stuff on that store as well. I have the emergency medical folder supplies, including ones that I did not even show you today because we don't have that much time. But I also have different paper organizing and home organizing lists as well, all sorted out for you. So check that out, because you might find your next best friend product. And yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I am still getting used to this. I wanted to thank Forevermore and the Linen Binder Company for sending me free samples to try, because these are ones that I saw that they had them, and I knew that Forevermore, I already loved their product, and the linen one was just so beautiful. So I requested free samples, and they sent me free ones to try out to see if the quality was good enough to recommend, and I wanted to thank them for that. So thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you soon and seeing you in the challenge. And Pathfinders, let's hop on over to Zoom and do our weekly Thursday meeting, our fun talk. All right. I love you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and awesome. Oh, yes. So Peg says that she uses her medical business cards to call the offices during open season to make sure they're still in the insurance network. Really smart, really smart. And CJ, I've added a set of USB adapters to my emergency medical folder. Yes, that's actually a really good idea. I have to add that to the list. That's a really good idea. Tech changes so quickly, and sometimes you need to change inputs to read the flash drive. Beautiful ending thought. I'll see you soon. I love you.